I love the ocean, so to be able to do yoga to the sound of waves is extremely calming and peaceful.
Dr. Yumiko Kadota dedicates part of each day to finding peace.
Studying the philosophy of yoga, that's really helped me. It's helped me find a more spiritual side to my life.
This was welcome relief from her high-pressure job as a junior doctor, working long hours in a busy public hospital.
The summary would be it was 4 months of hell.
The 31-year-old revealed the horror that made her walk away from her career dreams in a blog called The Ugly Side of Becoming a Surgeon.
It's been a hard lesson, but the lesson I've learned is that you have to put your health first.
And what do we think is going on down here?
A growing chorus of her profession agrees.
It sounds like she was really very burnt out by the end of it and very traumatised, unsurprisingly. Unfortunately, it's not an uncommon situation, so I think that this is actually a practice that's going on in hospitals around Australia.
Yumiko Kadota was still in high school when she decided she wanted to be a reconstructive surgeon.
I do feel that plastic and reconstructive surgery is the most creative of all of the surgical specialties because you do have to think outside the box. I did 6 years at uni, and then I did 1 year of internship and 2 years of residency before doing my first unaccredited registrar term in plastic surgery.
That position was at Bankstown-Lidcombe Hospital in Sydney's West, starting in February 2018.
From the first week I was working extremely long hours, and there was one particular week that stands out to me now, which is a week where I had a 12-hour day on the Monday, and then 20 hours on the Tuesday, and then 16 hours on the Wednesday.
After working more than 100 hours of overtime in her first month, the young doctor raised her concerns with the hospital's medical administration.
My initial response when I went to administration was that it wasn't their job to figure out my roster.
The combination of stress, poor nutrition and sleep deprivation led to stomach problems. Her GP was so worried she wrote a letter to the hospital, but nothing changed.
I think over the years I've learned to ignore some of the more mental symptoms of feeling stressed, but when my body started to break down, that's when I knew I was starting to get some gut problems, and that was the big sign to me that my body really wasn't right.
Did you get the impression from anyone that you should just be able to cope and keep going?
I did get that constantly. There was even an instant when I was told that doing these kind of hard hours would be good for me, implying that it might toughen me up.
The final straw was 24 days straight on call. Last June, Yumiko Kadota resigned.
I just physically couldn't keep going. I could barely keep my eyes open because I was so tired, and I was worried constantly that I would crash my car or make a mistake at work, and I just knew that it wasn't safe to keep going.
For her to speak up or to say that she wasn't coping would directly mean that was going to affect her ability to get a reference and potentially a job the following year or to get onto the training program. So it really demonstrates what the severity of was her situation for her to actually call it and say, I can't do this anymore.
Dr. Melissa Yang is co-founder of Doc2Doc, a support network for female doctors, set up in 2017 after a number of physicians took their own lives.
If someone quits, there's always someone there to take their place. So for the senior doctors or the heads of department, there's not really that concern about protecting these trainees. I think on the mildest end, it lends itself to selection bias, and I think in more severe cases, such as Yumiko's case, it lends itself to frank exploitation.
I can only apologise for the experience that she had here at the hospital. I am sincerely apologetic that she had that experience here at the hospital. Again, my apologies for that.
The Bankstown Hospital General Manager is full of apologies but offers little by way of explanation. Have you got to the bottom of this? You've got a young woman who's expressed concern, you've got her GP writing a letter to the hospital expressing concern, and yet nothing was done.
I can only apologise to the doctor for the experience that she had here at the hospital. I am very disappointed that that's what her experience was here at the hospital, and we're absolutely determined to ensure that our junior medical staff are supported and their well-being is being supported.
She says that she was physically and emotionally broken by the end of her time at this hospital.
Yeah, as I said, it was very disappointing to read about her experience here at the hospital, and we're very determined to ensure that we look after our junior medical officers.
Is that okay though, 100 hours of overtime?
I don't think that kind of numbers, that amount of overtime is ideal.
Dr. Kadota is still recovering mentally and physically. She's speaking out to help other junior doctors.
I wanted to let the other unaccredited registrars know that if they are struggling or suffering through their job, that they weren't alone. The response was so much bigger than I could ever have expected.
The blog resonated around the world, prompting hundreds of messages from others saying they've experienced the same thing. It also prompted an email from the hospital. The first time you contacted her after she resigned was when she went public with her blog. Why didn't you contact her sooner?
Our normal process is to offer people an exit interview when they leave the hospital to be able to explore the reasons that they're leaving us and seek opportunities for improvement. That wasn't offered to Dr. Kadota at the time, and I do apologise for that.
Do you know why not?
Well, we really should have done that, and so I can only apologise that she wasn't offered that opportunity.
Yumiko Kadota now isn't sure whether she'll return to her original career plan.
So if there is a way that I can ignite my fire again, I would absolutely love to be a surgeon again. But right now I'm not sure whether my body could go through it again. I really do think that the system needs to change so that it's a more nurturing workplace for junior doctors.